Title: Hearing Aid Use and Long-Term Health Outcomes, Hearing Handicap, Mental Health, Social Engagement, Cognitive Function, Physical Health, and Mortality. B. Introduction. 1. Problems. Hearing impairment is common among older adults. In the epidemiology of hearing loss study, 9% of adults aged over 8 years had hearing impairment. Hearing impairment is associated with reduced emotional, social, and physical well-being. Hearing impairment also may be associated with cognitive decline and dementia. 2. Gap. The primary treatment of hearing impairment is provision of hearing aids. Research from observational studies, experimental studies, and randomized controlled trials reviewed below provide consistent evidence that hearing aids reduce hearing handicap. There is limited and inconsistent evidence for the impact of hearing aids on a wide range of outcomes, including mental health, physical health, cognitive function, and social engagement. 3. Purpose. The aim of the present study was to determine the association of hearing aid use with a wide range of outcome measures in hearing impaired adults, controlling for demographic difference between hearing aid users and non-users. Outcomes included mental health, cognitive function, incident cognitive impairment, hearing handicap, social engagement, general health, and mortality. Outcomes were modeled in the epidemiology of hearing loss studies. A longitudinal data set wide outcomes assessed with 5 years and 11 years of follow-up. The hypothesis was that among hearing impaired adults, hearing aid use would be associated with better outcomes. See methods. 1. Context or design. We assessed hearing handicap, cognitive, physical healthy, and mental health. At baseline, 5 years prior to baseline, and 5 and 11 years after baseline. 2. Participant or sampling. The present study involved a subsample of the epidemiology of hearing loss studies cohort. This cohort was described in detail also here. Briefly, the EHLS aimed to estimate the prevalence of hearing impairment in adults aged 14 to 92 years living in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. The first round of testing took took place between 1993 and 1995 and include audiometric examination and a questionnaire and hearing-related medical history. Potential risk factor for hearing impairment and self-perceived hearing handicap of the 1,400 people eligible to take part. 3,753 participants. There were 2,800 participants in the baseline examination. 2,319 in 5 years and 1,812 in 11 years. Examination, a sample of EHLS participants was included in the present study on the basis of having hearing impairment but no hearing at a pre-baseline. Among those with hearing impairment, 113 were included because the reported use hearing aids at pre-baseline. Hearing impairment was defined as having an average threshold over 3 and 4 Hz greater than 14 dBHL in the better ear. This corresponds to at least a moderate level of hearing loss affecting audiometric frequencies important for speech perception. This level of hearing loss will be expected to result in communication disability and indicate candidation for a hearing aid according to the WHO definition of disabling hearing loss: a hearing loss greater than 14 dB in the better in adult. 3. Data collection or instrument. Table 1. 4 variables: hearing aids, hearing impairments, activities of daily living, mental health, cognitive function, social engagement. 5. Data analysis or statistics. Demographic and hearing characteristics at pre-baseline and baseline were first compared for the new hearing aid user group versus the non-user without adjustment for the other covariates of age, sex, and severity of hearing impairment. The chi-square test for association or the test for difference in means was used to assess the significance of the group comparisons. Sample size for the chi-square test were educated based on expected cell size for the RxC categorical table. The usual adjustment for unique sample size was used for the two samples. The tests hearing, handicap, cognition, physical health, social engagement, and mental health. Outcomes at baseline, and at 5 and 11 years after baseline were modeled with analysis of covariance models comparing the new hearing aids user with the non-user categories according to use at baseline, controlling for potential confounder, age, gender, and severity of hearing impairment. Any comparison that were significant or marginally significant were examined with additional potential confounder, including cardiovascular disease, total cholesterol, diabetes, current alcohol consumption, history of heavy drinking, hypertension, and smoking measured at baseline. Selection of potential confounder was based on associations that have been previously reported between chronic disease and lifestyle factors and hearing impairment. A Cox proportional hazard model was used to model the cumulative incidence of cognitive impairment between baseline and 11 years follow-up, comparing hearing aid user with non-user, controlling for potential confounders, age, sex, and severity of hearing impairment. Kaplan major survival estimates were calculated for the new hearing aids and the non-user groups for the time between baseline and 11 years follow-up. A risk of death during that period for the two groups was compared using Cox proportional hazard model. All analyses were performed using the SAE. D. Conclusion and suggestion. Conclusion. Few studies have examined broader outcomes associated with hearing aid use, including mental health, physical health, social engagement, and cognitive function. The study, to our knowledge, has examined long-term outcomes of hearing aid use. In the present study, there was no evidence that hearing aids are effective in promoting perceived mental health, cognitive function, or social engagement in the long term. However, hearing aids may be effective in reducing hearing handicap and may promote better perceived quality of physical health. Ethical and practical constraints preclude randomized controlled trial of the impact of hearing aid use among people with hearing impairment that utilize the long study duration that will be required to observe effect on some outcomes. It would not be ethical to randomize someone with hearing impairment to a no hearing aid condition for a study that would run for several years. An alternative approach is to investigate difference in long-term outcomes in a similar manner to the present study, uh, i.e., by comparing outcomes in future studies called examine outcomes in existing longitudinal datasets or follow people with hearing loss prospectively. Future studies could improve on the present one by investigating factors that might impact on the effectiveness of our rehabilitation, such as the goodness of hearing aids to audiometrically prescribed levels of application, the degree of improvement in audibility with hearing aid use, the type of hearing aids, patterns of hearing aid use of alternative communication strategies, and audiological support. Suggestion clarify the impact of hearing aids on mental health, social engagement, cognitive function, and physical health outcomes in older adults with hearing impairment. Thank you.